the star of Politically Incorrect, Bill Maher.
I didn't hear it either. Thank you very much. Let us meet our panel. He is the former football captain of the USC Trojans, wow, who now travels the country as part of the Sons of Thunder motivational performance team, Tom Sirotnak. Tom. Wow. Tom, I can see why you're a football star. An actress in Yale co-ed, please sit down. She's either fast or furious in The Fast and the Furious, opening June 23rd. Jordana Brewster. There you go. Nice to have you here. Thank you very much. She is the veteran of the Montreal and U.S. Comedy Arts Festival, who was recently named Best Female Comic by Backstage Magazine. Cory Kahaney.
Nice to see you.
Thank you for coming by. And after 4 decades of writing songs, he is 3 times a music superstar because playing on his big hit. His newest album, Renaissance, in stores everywhere. Lionel Richie, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, Commodore? Good to see you. Okay, well, if you don't know, today is graduation day for a lot of colleges and high schools. Our youngest and brightest people are mulling their futures, but before they do, they're getting completely ripped. And I know this is a big issue with you, with many people, parents certainly, about drinking. And the truth is, kids are drinking less than they were 10 and 20 years ago. Why? They're on ecstasy. They don't need alcohol. No, it's cheaper.
Ecstasy is cheaper.
It probably is. But also because, you know, there was this hysteria about binge drinking that made kids feel like, hey, everyone's doing it. And they stopped doing that. They stopped the hysteria, and kids stopped binge drinking. They stopped thinking, hey, I'm being left out of being the bad guy, because that's what kids want to be, is bad. So isn't that a good approach, don't you think, to kids, to like say to them, you know what, maybe we shouldn't stop you from drinking. Maybe we should lower the drinking. I mean, yeah, go down to 18. It's 21 all over the country now. Let kids have what they're going to have anyway and take it away as forbidden fruit.
Well, I got to disagree with that. I think that's absolutely ridiculous that we just let kids have whatever they want and they're going to have it anyhow. There should be some rules and regulations. University of Michigan did a study and it showed that where drinking was elevated. They lowered it actually in the 70s, thinking the same reasoning. Let's lower it. They're going to drink anyway. But what they found, that drinking accidents that caused where alcohol-related deaths were on the rise. The University of Michigan found that where they elevated the drinking age, that use of alcohol among teenagers, particularly seniors, went down 13%. That auto accidents that were alcohol-related causing deaths were decreased by 58%.
I think you have to be realistic, though, about the fact that kids will drink. I mean, at my school, I'm a sophomore in college right now, and they have a program where if you're completely drunk, you can go and sleep it off somewhere, and they won't call your parents. Like, you can sleep on a cot because a kid died 10 years ago because his roommates thought they were going to stay awake with him, and they ended up sleeping, and so the guy, you know, died in his sleep. So I feel like you have to set up some sort of support system because of the fact that it does happen. You can't forbid it completely.
See, in America, we've made drinking this amazing mystery. In Europe, for example, they don't. You have to understand, they start out young. It's a part of the culture. So what happens in our country is we get this thing saying, don't. Now, you know, in this country, when you tell a kid don't, it means do. Absolutely go.
That's what I'm saying.
So I think it starts one step below. Forget trying to make it the responsibility of the kid. Let's make it the responsibility of the parents and our culture.
But the parents aren't at the college. You can't blame them.
No. I agree with that. What I'm saying to you is you get to a point where you have to make it, take the mystery out of it. In other words, what I'm saying to you is you're saying right now 21 years old is correct, not 18. Because by the time...
Not 18?
Not 18.
If you make 18, 15-year-olds are going to drink. 15-years are going to get fake IDs that say they're...
At 18, you can marry, breed, abort your unwanted child, be a porn star, pay taxes, be a stripper, die for your country, and vote. But you can't drink. That's not out of line.
That's good.
And you can't do any of those things drunk.
No, but you know what? That's good.
If you look at the
But
consequences
you
of
see,
drinking.
the thing is, college students, I mean, that's the rite of passage. I mean, you know, we all know college students have a tremendous fear of dehydration. And it's a known fact. And I mean, I just came looking at colleges this year with my daughter, and I saw the tuition. I mean, it was, one school was $37,000 a year. My first question was, does that include the alcohol?
But Bill, you know, we're here in America, we haven't been raised up with the culture that Europeans have. We've had Madison Avenue telling us what drinking will do for you. We've seen the Hollywood movies where it's social, and it almost is a rite of passage or an acceptance, and young people can't handle that kind of power. And I've seen them on the campuses for 20 years.
Well, as he was saying, maybe they could if we started them young and didn't make it verboten, as they say in Europe.
That's exactly
you know,
right.
European kids have their first alcohol accident on a bicycle. And therefore they don't die, because they're used to it. It's not something that they have to encounter the first time behind the wheel. We don't do it that way. We have this idea of abstinence in this country, which is always a stupid solution. Zero tolerance, anything zero, anything absolute, does not conform with human nature.
In America, we've made sex the mystery. We made alcohol the mystery.
Right.
And so what has happened is that every time we say we have a problem, it's only because we've made it a mystery in this country. As soon as we stop pretending and actually speak openly to our children, it's exactly what's going on, they can best handle life a lot better than what we're giving them right now.
Yeah.
Maybe more people would vote if we moved the voting age to 21, and we'd get more of a turnout on voting day. Something to consider.
The voting age is 21.
Oh, no, you just said you can vote. Oh, maybe we should, all right.
Or is it 18? No, 18. You're right. I'm sorry. You're right.
18, yeah.
18.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Voting, I think, should be like 28.
But if we can make that a mystery and an honor, you know,
Right.
maybe they'd take it more seriously.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Right. People seem to think that the age thing is interchangeable. They say if you can vote, you can fight for your country,
right.
which is dumb,
right.
because in the voting booth you want someone smart. As a soldier, you want someone dumb.
Right.
You want someone when the sergeant says, you see that machine gun nest with the fire coming out of it? Go run at that.
Charge. Yeah.
Get out of this comfortable hole and run at that thing there that's trying to kill you.
That's a very good point. Very good point.
Bill, I don't think
You're looking at me oddly.
No, Bill.
the character of our teenagers in America, I've done over 1,500 school assemblies. I've been on campuses all around the world. The character of the American youth, I don't think can handle the alcohol by the stupid things they do, that I've seen them out there. We've got one guy, I saw him, he's the president of SAE fraternity, and he tells us at USC they've got a blue line running from the local bar all the way down Fraternity Row, and the joke was that you could follow your line home if you ever got so drunk. That was their form of safety for binge drinking.
But you can't change that mentality by forbidding it, or by lowering the drinking age. You can only try to deal with the consequences.
Well, that's what the University of Michigan was saying, that they decreased the drinking 13%, where they raised the age to 21. And then the alcohol-related deaths decreased 58%.
But we
pot usage go up, though? I mean, you know, you have to take the whole thing.
But why don't we raise it to 31, and then no one would die? You know, it presumes that safety and not dying is the #1 quality we're looking for. And it's certainly not in my world. You know, some people die. It's not pleasant, but you know, I'd rather the rest of the society have values than everybody be alive.
And you said you would rather have the rest of the society have values?
Right. There are certain values that are more important than life. Most of society understood that for hundreds and thousands of years. You know, personal responsibility, honor was more important than being alive. Yes, death is not a pleasant thing, but it happens to stupid people. You thin the herd, and that's not such an awful thing.
Thin out the gene pool?
Yeah. All right, I got to thin the commercial herd right now. We'll be right back.
Join us next week on Politically Incorrect when Bill's guest will include screen icon Malcolm McDowell, Crusader Aaron Brockovich Ellis, journalist Lisa Gibbons, and actor Steven Weber.
All right, I want to talk about cell phones. I've been itching to talk about this. I've been waiting for a news hook to get into this because these things bother me. I found it last week. The Long Island Railroad has banned cell phones on some of their cars. They call it a courtesy campaign. They call it cell yell. People on the train yelling into their phone, which people do. And I just do not understand how people can feel this way about a technological item, that they could make such fools of themselves just because they have this thing to their ear. They seem to be doing things that they would never do. They have these half conversations. They're very personal. I have to listen to it. Can't we have some sort of courtesy? Yeah.
I think people are rude to me when I'm on the phone. People are rude to me when I'm on the phone.
I'm glad that the cart's optional, though, on the train, because I feel like it's like the uptight, like, square people would be on that cart. Because I don't have a problem with cell phones. I think that if someone's going to be rude on their cell phone, they're going to be rude anyway. And, like, if you're on a train, you have to listen to someone's conversation regardless of whether they're talking into a phone or talking to their friend. You know, so unless,
But they seem to get louder on the cell phone.
Yes,
I was at an airport, and the guy's letting everybody know his business to the point where he finally got off the phone. 20 minutes later, everybody applauded him.
See, but that's entertaining, then, if you get to sort of eavesdrop on people's lives.
Well, first of all, it's the Long Island Railroad. Have you ever heard a Long Island accent? Do you want to hear, you know, I'm pick me up in Belmore? I mean, nobody wants to hear that.
But you know what?
So it's doubly worse. But I find people are rude to me when I'm on the phone. A homeless guy tapped me for change, and I was like, excuse me, I am on the phone. I said, do I interrupt you when you're talking to voices in your head? No.
But you know what? We're to the point now where it is entertainment. You have to look at it that way. It's never going to go away. No. It's never going to go away.
Don't you get mad when you go into a restaurant and there's a plaque there that says no cell phones or turn off your cell phone?
No, I don't. No. I guess that's a generational thing, because I don't agree with you that people are going to be rude anyway. That cell phone gives them the right to be rude in a way I don't think they would before. I mean, the whole country is like 15-year-old girls. They have to be on the phone all the time. I mean, why do you have to take a call everywhere? Life was never like this, where everything was so vital that you always had to pick up the phone at every possible moment.
Maybe we're talking about the same generation, because in my case it's the same way. When you go to a restaurant, the last thing you want to do when you're having a nice dinner is sit there and hear the guy say, let me tell you something, the stock market is doing... I don't want to hear about the stock market. I don't want to hear about that. And so it becomes an imposition as time goes on. You're sitting there listening to the divorce case over here on this side. There's a stock market over here. Like you said, the girl over here with her boyfriend, and you're going to go...
And it gets down to personal responsibility again. There should be rules of kindness, of being pleasant in public, and a lot of our generation doesn't know that.
Yeah, but not everyone's pleasant, but I don't have to suffer for it by turning my cell phone off because someone else is rude.
Hey, but if you infringe on somebody else's freedom by blasting your boyfriend while you're, having an argument...
But I don't do that. I know not to do that.
But you must have great service. I can never have more than a 5-minute conversation. I always lose the signal. I hear every other word.
One conversation, fine. 2 conversations, okay. The whole restaurant, you have a problem.
That's right.
And that's what's happening. I mean, I noticed when I travel, of course, let me talk about cell phone hell, and that's Japan.
Yeah.
Okay? Everybody has a cell phone. You go into a restaurant, it's phones ringing, it's over the top.
But they're a very polite country, and they're impolite?
That's very impolite.
I think that's very impolite.
Yeah.
And I don't know...
Everybody's... Of course, I can't understand what they're saying. It's just the phone ringing is enough to drive you nuts.
But they do it here, too. I mean, if you go to any sort of coffee shop, Starbucks, those kind of places, people are always on the cell phone.
You know, I use my cell phone... Especially in LA, I use my cell phone like at coffee shops just so I'll even pretend to be on the cell phone. If I feel like I'm in a situation where people might like, you know what I mean? Like if people are like looking, no, but in LA it's weird because everybody feels like they can talk to you for some reason, whereas in New York everyone respects their own space. But here I use it as like
You've got to be kidding.
No, I think so.
In New York, people respect your space?
Yeah, in LA everyone's so nice that they just, come up and talk to you and everyone's like starting up a conversation, whereas in New York, I think everyone's so paranoid of each other that, they stay away.
Really? The men in New York don't try to start conversations with you?
Not really. No.
Maybe
I don't
you
know
had,
what world
maybe you
I'm
look
living
different
in
in
today.
New York.
You must dress down. I think
Not
dress
look as good as you do today.
Dress down. You must dress like the Taliban.
What bothers me is when you're in your private space, a car, and people want to infringe, don't use the cell phone, saying it's distracting or
But the car's about safety.
Oh, now
I'm
it's about
okay with
safety.
that. I'm okay with that one. Well, yeah, I've almost gotten into accidents when I'm talking about.
But where do we stop? If you're going to legislate right and wrong, you know, in morality in the car, whether you use a cell
Because
phone
that's
or
not about morality. That's about safety.
let's do this then. Let's legislate no drive-thrus anymore. Because really, when you think about a drive-thru, you're going to eat and drive. Okay? You're going to be dipping the ketchup in the French fry or the sauce on the tostada.
Well, let's go back.
That's much more dangerous than a cell phone conversation. I saw a girl smoking a cigarette in one hand, eating in another, and trying to drive at the same time. Let's legislate something to stop that.
I've seen them putting on makeup while they're driving.
Well, let's go back. Let's go even one step in my business. Let's talk about what we've created now with the CD versus the cassette versus the radio. I mean, most wrecks in the world are changing that CD changer. I mean, forget about the cell phone. We're now talking. We're there now to this point. Now we just have one more thing to do in the car. Do you want to fix your hair?
Well, now they've got video games, too.
You've got video games. Now you've got everything in the steering wheel now where you've got the screen that can tell you where to go, so you have to pay attention to the guy talking in here. We've got a problem.
Have you ever had an accident?
I've only been in one accident, and that was changing the cassette. I'm down, changing the cassette, bang.
I've only had one accident due to the cell phone. One serious accident due to the cell phone. All the other accidents, it was because I was just spacing out. So I find the cell phone helps me focus.
But it is very, very unfair to the drunks.
Yes. On the other hand, maybe they can call for help. You know, I'm too drunk to drive any further.
No, but there are a lot of things that distract you from driving perfectly. And only one of them is against the law. I think talking on a cell phone is just as bad as I'd rather be on the road with someone with 2 beers than someone talking on a cell phone. However, I have to take a commercial, so I can't rant on that anymore.
Embryos available.
Peter. The ABC Saturday.
All right. In the time we have left, I wanted to mention this. The summer's coming, and I guess that's why the New York Times had a front-page story on the Bikini last week. The last time the Bikini was on the front page of the New York Times was when they blew up the island. I guess people don't remember that, but that's how the Bikini got its name. It would happen to be on the same day when they had a hydrogen bomb testing on the island of Bikini and blew it out of the world. 80% increase in the last 2 years among women 30 and up wearing a bikini, which says to me the baby boomers are asking the world to celebrate and glory all that is them. And, you know, men do it too. I mean, fat guys in Speedos. I think there should be term limits on bikinis and Speedos. I mean, I think the one place that needs a dress code is the beach.
I think that's unfair. Really.
Of course, you do. Yeah, you should be wearing a bikini.
30 and up. I mean, that's not. I mean, you can't tell someone not to wear something. If it offends you, you don't have to go to that beach. You don't have to see them.
Go to that beach?
I mean,
what beach is it where they don't have that?
Well,
yeah, that's true.
See, wait, let's talk. Here we are again talking about America and its rules and its very narrow-mindedness. Anywhere else in the world, it's the voluptuous woman that has all the sex appeal. They think that.
Excuse me. Come on.
Yeah, I know what it is. I mean, I'm telling you. You go to Italy, it's about the.
We're not talking about voluptuous.
No, okay.
We're talking about old.
No.
30 isn't old, though.
Stretch marks.
Wait, now, Bill, you're being a little. No, over 30 is not. Everything over 30 is not looking that way.
No.
Okay. But what I'm just saying is, when you have a lady sitting there. You walk out on the beach, it's America who made it that you had to be 110, no more. You know,
I'm not talking about that. Yeah, I'm talking about people who shouldn't be flaunting it. And we all know who they are. And it's men, too.
But isn't it great, though, when you see someone that's completely oblivious? and who just doesn't care or just
No.
wants to...
It's awful. I don't want to look at that. You like to look at ugly
No, I don't
flesh?
like to look at that, but I love it when someone's comfortable enough or oblivious enough about how they look to just, you know,
I think
put
it's
it
so
out there.
narcissistic to think that the world would want to see you in all your decrepitude. Have a little sense of decency.
You know, when you see those suits that kind of look like, you know, the bikini or the bottom is sort of making a shelf.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it gives you like, you know...
You know, some of us just had lunch. Okay, I got to take another commercial. We'll be right back. All right, Monday we have Steven Weber, Isaac Hayes. This cat Shaft is a bad... Sidney Hay and Reverend Jamal Harrison Bryant.